All right. Sounds good. All right. Hey, thanks, Garrett, for joining me here today. So for those who are listening in, if you could just please briefly describe who you are, your farming operation, and then we'll jump into today's conversation.
Yeah, so I'm Garrett Ruskamp from Northeast Nebraska. Got a row crop operation that consists of, corn and soybeans, and then we also have wheat and alfalfa, and then we've got a cow calf operation as well. And currently, it's me and my dad kind of operating together. And I know for us, the big thing that changed within the last year or two was we had an uncle that left the operation. That was kind of the big thing that kind of changed for us. So
Yeah. And you guys have been in Legacy Farmer for roughly what, two, 3 months now? Has it been? What?
yeah, I think we joined middle of June and it's 1st of September, so about 2.5 months. So
About 2.5 months. Yeah. Awesome. Okay. So then first thing is, so what was not working in life and business before joining Legacy Farmer?
obviously the big thing that everybody stresses about is finances. We had a lot of struggles there with the operation and the business, and so that was the one thing that took probably the biggest toll on us and the biggest stressor, I'd say. And so that was the main thing. And then just the day to day operations with everything that needs to be done, just trying to find our rhythm and just trying to stay organized and things like that.
Yeah. And so like I remember our first like hot seat you guys came in and the big thing was like putting this financial piece together. You guys had your personal side of the operation and then you had, your dad together, you guys farming together and how those numbers were like this puzzle that wasn't yet put together. You're trying to put this puzzle together, right? And how
Yeah.
much you guys didn't know exactly where you were at financially. Would you agree?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I'd agree. We've had some pretty rough times, financially the last 2, 3 years. And so we kind of knew a little bit because we had to, but we knew probably the bare minimum to kind of keep surviving, I'd say. And so this has really allowed us to kind of dive into the numbers and really be a steward to the numbers and get to know where we're at, even whether it's good or bad, and just to know the position that we're in. So.
Yeah. And because if we don't know where we're at financially, like what does that do to you mentally when you don't know where your numbers are at?
I think it's like anything else. It's the state of unknown. I mean, the fear of the unknown,
Hmm.
and the fear of going into the conversation with the banker and not necessarily knowing how it's going to go. And so I think that's the big thing is just the not knowing. And so now that we do have a little bit better handle on numbers, it's gives us just more confidence, I'd say.
Yeah. And I've noticed that firsthand. We've spent, 2 months and you guys have been committed to that process of the numbers, but it's also brings us back to the not good. Not
Yeah,
all the numbers are good.
yeah,
And you've experienced that, had to go through that process of uncovering that, which has been uncomfortable, but at least you now have like, would you agree you have this foundation now where you have the truth to build on top of that or a structure.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, uncovering the numbers and really getting to know the good, the bad, the ugly, is just it's just the way life is. You got to face that head on. And so that's what we're just trying to do is not hide from it, not sugarcoat it. It is what it is. Now, what do we need to do to fix it? And what do we need to do to move forward? So
100%. So with that, what's been the biggest thing that's changed for you guys since you've come into Legacy Farmer?
I'd say confidence. And, that's just the confidence in knowing the numbers, knowing that they're accurate, and then also just knowing that we have the power and the skills to change things, or even if we don't, we have the ability to learn them. And so that's been really huge. I'd say the confidence and overall perspective that we have on the operation.
So the big thing inside Legacy Farmer, as you've noticed, is putting you in the position of you knowing your numbers, not the
Yep.
bank telling you your numbers,
Yep.
right? And we had an instance where you were waiting on getting the numbers back from the bank,
Yeah.
sitting here, trying to get this thing going, and it's like this felt like you guys were letting somebody else control the operation in a sense,
Yeah.
right? Because you relied on somebody else to take the numbers, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. And I feel like for a lot of people in our situation, even if you're sitting pretty good financially, you go into the bank, you talk to your banker, and you feel like you're asking for permission. And to a certain extent, you probably are. But I feel like you shouldn't have to be go in there and in a sense be on your knees to, and even just to get some information out of him. So that's kind of where we're trying to take control of that part of our business. So
And why do you think it is we seek permission from the bank?
I'd say that's the biggest aspect of our business is the financial side, and they're providing us the ability to operate our business. And yes, that is true, but I think a big part of that is how we manage that side of it too. So
And that you need to be the one who decides what's going to be best for your operation,
yeah, yeah,
right? Is
exactly.
that correct? Yeah.
Yep,
Because at the end of the day, it's you and your family, right? It's you, Ellen, and your family. That's
that's
going to
correct.
be affected the most. Yeah.
Yep.
And I think you can voice on this too, the knowledge that you don't get from the bank too, or that you don't know, right? You just feel like they know it all in a
Yeah.
sense, right?
Yep.
And so a big thing is just not knowing, just not having that knowledge or the training to know what the bank's always looking for.
Yeah. Yeah. And I would say going into those conversations and just really knowing your numbers and knowing more about the business side of it, you just feel like you have a little more power, a little more say in those conversations, and learning more than just the simple things that we've been operating on. That's been really extremely helpful too. So.
Yeah, 100%. Okay, so what's your favorite things in Legacy Farmer? So we have the boardroom calls, we have farmer metrics, the trainings, we get the one-on-one meetings, like everything inside of here. What's been your favorite thing so far about Legacy Farmer?
Well, I kind of like it all, but I mean, I'd say the one thing that I look forward to is Tuesday mornings, 9 o'clock. There's a boardroom call, and what I like about it is I'm still active. I don't. I was really hesitant when I learned about those. Is okay. I'm gonna have to sit in the office in front of the computer for an hour, hour and a half. That's going to take up so much time. But I can have it on my phone. I can have it wherever I'm at. I can even click a shut and just listen in. I think that's been awesome. I really look forward to those. And then once again on Wednesday, you got at 10 o'clock, you got the Empire boardroom call for the guys. Just to have a place just for the guys. I mean, it's kind of nice, kind of get things off your chest if you need to. Not that it's rambling on or ranting, but there's things that need to be discussed, and not to hold it all in, because I feel like in our industry, maybe if you got some really close friends or whatever it might be, you can kind of talk and bounce ideas off of, but usually you don't have that kind of circle. So it's nice to have a, group of guys, or even a community boardroom call, just, everybody to kind of pitch in and bounce ideas off of.
Yeah. I mean, and because everybody, this is as you've experienced, this is a safe place to talk about those things.
Yeah.
Right? Everybody that comes in, they're interviewed. We make sure that they're a good fit. They have to apply to this thing, because if we let one bad apple into the group, like it ruins it for everybody, and we make this a serious, and it means a lot to us in that way for you guys too, because you need to know that this is a safe place, and to share those real things and learn the lessons, and things like that. So, what would you say? What is the biggest thing like you've gotten away from those boardroom calls? Like what's kind of been the biggest thing you've just been able to take away? Because there's been a lot of conversations. I mean, we've covered team members from, just different tools, exploring farmer metrics with other members, going over their numbers, talking about the bank, those conversations. We've all had those conversations. If you could sum it up, like what have you really gotten to take away from that?
I'd say this might be kind of a little bit long, but I've always been one that kind of looks over the fence, looks at what other people have, and in a sense, probably a little bit jealous. And so by doing that, yeah, I kind of came into that with the same aspect when people start talking about their operations and seeing, the situations that they're in. But by doing that, it also made me realize the situation that I'm in. And in our situation, like I said, it's been pretty tough financially the last few years. So I feel like that's always been one area that we've struggled on. But then it also makes you realize there's a lot of people out there that have problems with relationships or, the people that they're working with. And that side of things, that just doesn't get fixed overnight. And so we're very lucky on that aspect. So, that's where I guess it kind of makes you realize the things that you do have and, where you're sitting in your position and within your business and personally also. So that's been kind of nice just to see that side of it too.
Yeah, 100%. I think you summed it up really good there. Yeah. So, last question. So, what would you say to someone? We get a lot of members that come in, they go through this process. They know this is what they need. Somebody sitting on the fence with legacy farmer, if you could give them a piece of advice or tell them something that would make them go all in, what would that be for you?
I'd say, for me, before we joined, like honestly, I didn't even contemplate on it that long at all. I mean, uh, I think by the time I even learned about legacy to the time that we were a member, it was maybe like 2 weeks. And so I was just, we were ready. We knew there had to be something out there that had to guide us a little bit better. And so once I kind of learned about this, I just went all in. And I'd say it's been one of the best decisions we've ever made. I mean, I know there's a financial aspect to it. Nothing's free, but it's worth it. I mean, I'd say if you're hesitant, do it, which is kind of cliche. I mean, everybody says that, but I mean, it's been good, and very happy about the experience that we've had so far, and just really looking forward to what the future brings. So.
Yeah. And so behind that push, your why, would you say a lot of it was because you want this thing to be successful and sustainable long term? Like, was that part of the decision factor for you? Like, if I don't do anything here today, like, I don't know what's going to happen. And I know that I probably can't do this by myself. I mean, I've been getting to this point, but I need someone to push me to that next level, who's going to challenge me, who has the information that I need.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I'd say, what was I going to say? Before we joined, we just knew there had to be something out there. Everyone wants to be successful. Everybody just wants to be that guy that, in the community that's just super successful. And you just never know how to get there. I mean, and you're going to have to work at it. That's no doubt. But I just feel like this is definitely a step in the right direction to get to that point.
Yeah. Awesome. All right, man. Hey, thanks for taking the time with me here today, man. Appreciate it.
Yep, no problem.